going for David Goggins.
All right, the video, if we're going live in just a second.
All right.
You're live.
Good morning, everybody. Matt Cannon, El Paso, Texas. Hey, welcome to the Pivot Shift Ahead daily call. I'm the guest host. James Shaw is. You can actually find out where James Shaw is if you go to the Facebook, the Pivot Shift Ahead Facebook group. He is in Iceland. He's on some vacay. All right. We had a great pre-show this morning. Yes, Elaine. Don't worry, Elaine. I got you. We had a great pre-show this morning. Talked about ChatGPT. We had a lot of good ideas. We're actually going to be in one of my favorite books called Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins this morning. We're going to do the censored version. Don't worry. What we normally do is we normally start off the call with a couple of tell me something good. So here's what you do. If you got something good to share, which I know this group does, go ahead, raise your digital hand, and we're going to go through a couple of tell me something goods, and then we're gonna do a couple announcements. We're gonna get
Matt, you muted. You're on mute, darling.
You're mute. Matt, you're still on mute, darling.
His volume might be down.
Mr. Tyler. Good morning. Tyler Wynn, good morning.
Good morning, brother.
Good, brother.
Great news is that this type of business allows me the opportunity to do things I love. And one of those things is pouring into the lives of young people in our church. And my co-leader here and I are going to be in Daytona this week, leading people towards the path of Christ. We're doing a Daytona trip for over 3,000 kids in the Atlanta area. So we're going to spend the week down here learning and leading people towards God. So awesome experience.
I love that, brother. Good job on that. That's what I'm talking about. Miss Drea, DREA, you driving? Be careful, please. Good morning. Tell me something good.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Matt, it's so great to see your sunshiny face, friend. I just wanted to say I was listening.
Thank you. You too.
Absolutely. I don't know if I'm going in and out. I'm back here in the boonies.
No, you're good. We got you loud and clear.
Perfect. I was listening to some affirmations this morning, and this really blessed me. So I said, let me share this because I don't know who this will bless. But it talked about when you're in an aircraft and you're experiencing turbulence, you are only experiencing turbulence not because you're going down, baby, but because you are going up. So if you experiencing some bumps in the road right now, just thank God because you are on your way up. I love y'all. Have an amazing day.
I love that. That's a great share. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm ready to go. That was a good share, Jay. Thank you. Hey, I love that. Let me see here. Laura Forte in Chicago. Tell me something good, Laura.
Good morning, Matt and everyone. I just wanted to say today is my birthday, and I thank Louise for sending me my birthday sticker. I have it on. And thanks to Jennifer Rice, my friend, who always sends me a birthday card and wish me happy birthday. Just wanted to say that. Have a blessed day.
Absolutely. Thank you, Laura. Thank you so much. People in Pivot are pretty cool. Some good people out here. Ira, I saw you had your hand up, man. I saw you had your hand up for Tell Me Something Good.
Yeah, I did, but I spoke early. I just wanted to say I closed my largest transaction to date yesterday. It was for a couple that had a really big house in Upper Saddle River, but they wouldn't move. They wouldn't let me list the house until I found them another place. So the other place that they're going to is closing on the 31st. So.
I love it, Aaron. Hey, man, congrats on that. And I know that they are lucky to have you as a realtor. I have no doubt that Ira's crushing it. I would love to have Ira as my realtor. Hey, Carl Franken Jr., why don't you wrap us up on the Tell Me Something Good before we get after it?
Hey, good morning, everybody. My something good is two things real quick. So first, it's the first time I took the whole call in the office. I got to the office early and I started the call in office. Felt good about that. The other thing was when I started real estate, I said that the one thing I wanted to do was finally list a property in my own neighborhood where I grew up at. And though I didn't list it, I went on a presentation for the first time in my own neighborhood yesterday. So fingers crossed.
I love it, Carl. I love it. Hey, did you take that listing?
I'm going to say I did take that listing, but
I love it.
hasn't decided yet.
Where do you live, man? Where are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn, New York. In Dayside office. Keller Williams, but I'm from Brooklyn, you know, originally crying. First Sunday up.
Talking about. All right, man. Hey, thank you, Carl. We appreciate you.
Thank y'all.
I love the board. He's up there. He's up there getting after it. I can tell people are getting after it when they're writing stuff on the board. Hey, so check it out. All right, we're gonna go through a couple things real quick later on today. Inspire members, we do have an Inspire call. We do have an Inspire call today, 12 o'clock Eastern. Leah Jews is going to be getting after it. She's going to let us know about the systems that she uses to go through and really just cater her to her database and get referrals over time. The cool thing about your database is the the more you love on your people, the more they're going to come back to you. And Leah's going to tell us, and she's going to give us a playbook on how she does that. If you guys are not part of Inspire, I can't imagine why you wouldn't want to be, but if you're not, jamesdshaw.com, jamesdshaw.com, and you can check out Inspire. All right, so check it out. We're going to be in Can't Hurt Me today. Can't Hurt Me. We're going to do the PG version. We're looking at page 188 and 189. This is David Goggins. This is one of my favorite guys. We're talking about, James posted, from somewhere in Iceland. I didn't see any ice. I didn't see any land. All I saw was water. But he posted about, complaining and stuff like that. And I actually thought this is a good week to break out some David Goggins. For those of you who don't know David Goggins, he wrote a book called Can't Hurt Me. He was in the Navy SEALs and he overcomes a lot of adversity. He's known for his extreme things that he does with no excuses. But what I want to talk about is I want to kind of talk about what he calls his cookie jar. He talks about a cookie jar. What is a cookie jar? Well, he was going through these times in his life, right, where something is really difficult, and it goes through, and it talks about this, concept of a cookie jar. And what it is he wants to, basically give his own way of saying thanks, and he wants to remember the things that he's done. So when another tough time happens, he can kind of pull from the strength of that cookie jar. He can go back in and be like, oh yeah, I did that. If I did that, then I can definitely do this. It says it's a concept he employed whenever I need a reminder of who I am and what I'm capable of. And he says we all have a cookie jar inside us because life, being what it is, it's always tested us. Even if you're feeling low and beat down by life right now, I can guarantee you can think of a time or two when you overcame odds and you tasted success. And guess what? It doesn't have to be a big victory either. It can even be something small. He goes on to talk about, we want the entire victory right now. But really, you have to go with the small wins every single day, and you put those wins in the cookie jar. And he says if you don't have any super big accomplishments, you can actually draw on the small ones. Your small victories, toss them in the cookie jar. You can savor them. And then, when you're ready to praise yourself and you need to claim that small victory, you can pull from that cookie jar and you can say, look, I did that. In real estate, guess what? It's not always easy. It's not always, James says, pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows. There's a lot of times where we need to pull from these things and we get really hard on ourselves. But if we really stop and think about the cool stuff that we've done, we can actually pull from that and we can use it as inspiration to move forward. So what I'd like to hear from you guys is what's in your cookie jar? What is a time where you were, able to have adversity and you were able to overcome that adversity so that when times are getting tough, you can pull from it, be like, oh yeah, I did that. So now I know that I can do this. Mr. Phil Anthony, good morning. Start us off, man. How's it going?
Excellent. Thank you for letting me speak. So what guided me through this was Earl Nightingale's The Stranger's Secret, where his definition of success is the progression towards the goal. And I'm paraphrasing. And so through the years, it's been important for me to acknowledge the progress. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be. When I was waiting for the heart in the hospital, I got tons of prayers and social media posts from friends acknowledging me, how I showed up in their lives. And something told me, hey, screenshot that. And at the end of it all, what I got in my spirit was to share with everyone the collective wisdom of this experience. And I put a video together of all those screenshots, the voice messages. People would send me audio messages on WhatsApp, and I was able to download those. And I put a video together. It's about 11 minutes of people loving on Phil. And whenever I get down, I just click play. And I'm telling you, I forgot what I was thinking about before. Yep. And so I encourage people, acknowledge the progress, because it's not the goal. Because once you get there, there's another goal. But if you don't acknowledge the progress there, it almost seems like it's never fulfilling.
Yeah.
I'm complete. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good share, man. I mean, for those of you who don't know, Phil's been through some stuff, and you know what? We all have, though, right? Is there a person on this call that hasn't been through some stuff, right? Life is lifing. And so, you know, I love the idea of the audio, and when you need it, you can pull from it. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Appreciate you, Phil. Dean Moss, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Thank you so much for the opportunity, man.
Good to see you.
This one. Sorry about that. I have a dog in my throat. I got this from Floyd Wickman, my mentor and trainer for so many years, great guy. And he had this concept of LFTs, looking forward to's. So focus on what you're going to achieve when you hit your goal and everything is fine. You know, so I'm going out of town for a little bit, visiting some friends down in Cincinnati in a little bit. I'm going to go on vacation in the fall. There we go. Got it. And you gotta put that stuff in your mind, or that thing in your mind, so you have something to work toward. You have a stake in the ground that's your post you have to run to. And if you do that, it helps your today much better, and you'll get through the tough stuff. So thanks for letting me share that.
I love it, Dean. Yep, that's a great share. LFT, I like that. Carol Castle, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for calling on me, Matt. Listen, going to what was said before, when I was a school teacher, every time I got any nice note from anybody, I put it in a box, because tell you what, teachers get beat up, and the only time they ever hear anything from anybody is when they're mad. So just a shout out that if you had a good teacher, make sure you write him a good note. But here's the thing, our words make our life. And this kind of goes to what we talked about yesterday. So if your words are always negative, you attract negativity. I remember reading that and thinking that in bold. And I used to always dread to open mailbox back when mail was a thing. What if there's a bill in there? I'm going to owe money, whatever. And then I started thinking, there's going to be checks in the mail. I started thinking that. And guess what? I started getting refunds. I started getting checks. It is so true. What you focus on is what you get. How you treat other people is what you receive. If you want to have peace in your life, give other people peace. If you want to have abundance, give abundance to other people. That is the secret of life. And I'm on the other side of 60, headed towards 70, and I feel younger and more alive than ever because I have peace with enough. I have peace with where I am in my life, and I just want to help people get what they need in their life. And the things that haven't worked out, I have faith that they will, as long as I'm doing what I can to keep my circle of influence happy.
Right.
Just live your life that way.
That's right. Hey, you guys didn't know you were going to hear the secret of life on the pivot shift call this morning. Carol Castle, that was awesome. Thank you so much. You're exactly right about that. By the way, manifest some checks to my house. I'm going to text you my address. Brad Campbell, good morning, brother.
Hey, good morning, Matt. Thank you for the opportunity to share. What I've written here is, and I've read that book, I've got it right here in front of me. The man has accomplished some absolutely phenomenal things in his life. It's just absolutely mind-boggling. What I've written is, what my cookie jar is my journals, which there are 2 of those here with me now. I started doing it on the computer. The success list that I fill out daily, this is just one box of those. I literally have hundreds, if not thousands, of these things that I keep. And there's reasons why, and it goes into, some of the stuff with the books that I'm writing. But I put my journal and success list, or my cookie jars. I go back through and I randomly read through these. I'll just flip through and pick a page and just start reading in it. And it reminds me of where I've been, both positive and negative. Even what I thought would defeat me, I overcame. Also, some of the things that I've done, because I cannot stress to you enough the people that I've shared with here about writing, the devil beats me up more about that than anything in my life. And all the encouragement that I've got from people, I've literally took screenshots of this computer screen of chats and nice things that y'all have said about me and keep on my phone to try to encourage me. And then it says this is more just for me, but to help others that I meet and to help them overcome hell and flourish faster. I've certainly been the example of what to do and what not to do in my life. It just depends on when you caught me. But hopefully that'll help somebody. Thanks, Matt.
Greg Campbell, as always, that's a great share, brother. I love that. You got to keep track of what the wins are, because there's a movie I like called Rounders, and a quote from that movie is like, hey, you know what? We never remember the wins, but we remember with absolute clarity the bad beats. The
And
times. Hey,
Matt, something really important on that. When I read the positive things that happen in here, that's fuel and that helps me and that motivates me and makes me excited. And when I read over some of the really hard, super negative things that's been here too, when I get done reading it, I just remind myself that I overcame it, that God helped me and other people helped me through that. And I want to make sure that I do that for others in the future, because that's why it probably happened to me in the first place.
I love that. Yeah, and you gotta have clarity about yourself and what's actually happened. You can't sugarcoat it. Good share, Brett. Brevon Pittman Vaughn the third. Good morning, friend.
Hello, my friend. So that's actually a great segue into what I'm sharing. So you asked about a time when you had adversity, and most have known, when I lost my sister in 2020, and this word behind me is my cookie jar. And because it, as we say, it makes what you have enough. And, I was having a conversation with my coach. I shared more recently that we're having some issues with one of our puppies. He's not a puppy, but is terminally ill. And we don't have kids, so this is like, okay, like this is new territory for me. And I was having a conversation with my coach, and he had me tap back into a time of adversity, when things weren't as they should have been, or as we thought they would be. And he said, what did you pull from yourself during that time? What was the revelation during that time that equipped you to handle the adversity? And it was this word behind me, is it was my saving grace. It still is my saving grace, because had it not been for that, who knows where my mind would be. But so it's given peace of mind. And one of the things that my coach said is during these times of adversity, the greatest gift that you can get is that clarity, because it allows for you, like in hindsight, I can see the things that I did, or when I had no choice, or how I was feeling emotionally, how I overcame that, how I persevered, and how somehow I inspired others. So this is a time where now I can pull from that. And what clarity is this giving? How can I show up better? How can I show up differently? So just lean into what this moment is teaching you, and have that gratitude jar of just things to go back to. Go back to that list, that gratitude exercise that we did in Bold, where people basically shared all these things, so that when your bucket is empty because you poured out to so many others, you have that frame of reference to go back to.
I love it, Bree. That's a good share. And I hate to hear about anything, but there's times in your life where you're going to go through those things, and it's not fun, and yet we know that, like you said, we can keep pulling from that gratitude and have gratitude for what we do have and the life we have. Thank you, Bree. Good share. Frank Matera, good morning, brother.
Good morning. Thank you, Matt. The one of the great things when we have struggles, adversity involved, is that when we come through them, we can look back and find out all the when we're through them, on the other side, we can see how things are much better. And every time we struggle, we come out on the other side, things are a whole lot better, and we just build off it. It makes us stronger in the end. And I've been through many, many things in my life, and yet you just persevere, work through them. When you come on the other side, life is a whole lot better, and it builds your character for what's next down the road.
That's right, Frank. That's a good share, Matt. Hey, we're going to try to squeeze in a couple more. Erica Rose, good morning.
Okay, so if we go back to thinking about adversity, actually, when I was leaving an abusive relationship and actually thought about taking my own life, it was gratitude that had me not do it. And I kept thinking, I set an alarm on my phone every hour of the moments that I could be grateful for. And at first, it was like almost felt impossible because I had $85,000 worth of credit card debt because my ex stole from me. But then I was like, well, I have a phone and I have this and I can breathe and I have people who care about me. And then from like, it became like first just surviving, then to thriving. I didn't take a listing for almost 8 months. And then my friends turned to me and said, that's not going to happen. We're now going to, and then I was grateful for them. And I took 3 listings in a week because all I kept doing is like compounding future gratitude of I'm a listing, like I'm grateful for the listings I had in the past. And I'm grateful for the clients that cared about me and hired me. And then not only did it help save my life, um, then I actually did suicide interventions for others because I was able to recognize it and only being trained through life experience, not an actual like person who knew how to do this, but how to save my own life. So if you're going through hard times, if you set that alarm and then you speak gratitude into yourself, into others for what they're doing for you, and then gratitude in the future of I'm thankful for something that is coming in the future. It's like affirming that it's here. You have no idea whose life.
That's right. You know, Erica, you're a great person. You are enough just the way you are. All right. Allison Brand, do us a favor. Wrap us up. I'm sorry to the hands we can't get to today. Allison Brand, good morning.
All right. So we're learning in church that our biggest problem as people is we forget what the Lord has done for us. And so many times, Brent and I next week are going to be celebrating our 45th wedding anniversary. You know what? You know, marriage, things are crazy at times, but I remember how God brought them to me. And you know what? If you remember the good things, then you know what? Your life can be great and you could just enjoy your life. So happy anniversary, Brent.
Happy anniversary.
Awesome.
You know, it's one thing to always remember the first time you tapped her on the shoulder to ask her to dance. You remember those certain things that are wonderful in your life. And when you do that, it lays that foundation that you could always fall back on. To remember the one that you love, to remember what people have done for you and what you've done for others. So yeah, go forth today and live a life of remembrance.
I love it. That's a great share. So look, guys, we're gonna have to wrap it up. I'm gonna go ugly cry. I'm gonna turn the camera off and go ugly cry a little bit for about 5 minutes. But listen, the point is the cookie jar. Just remember, think back about those times. Use it in real estate. Use those for every client that gives us a hard time. Remember the ones that we really helped, that we really, because life is happening. And do the same in your life. Tell the people, important to you that they are important. Remember those hard times to help you get through the times ahead. All right, guys, that's all the time we got. We're gonna hop off. Matt Cannon, El Paso, Texas. It's been a pleasure guest hosting today.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, guys. We'll
Thanks,
talk about
bye.
better, inspire members.
Thank you so much, Matt.
Good job.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks,
Great
Matt.
job, man.
Good talk.